Living English, a course in English conversation. Presented by Professor Perry Fowler, Korea's handsomest teacher. Good afternoon. My name is Professor Hugo Smith. Due to an unfortunate accident, Professor Perry Fowler will not be appearing in this program. I will be teaching the remainder of this lesson, the subject of which is past simple with regular and irregular verbs. Please note that in this course, failure is not an option, and the penalty for cheating on your homework is death. We will begin with a short discussion of the previous lesson's content. Speaking in the past tense is very easy. Just change the verb like this. I visit my friends. Present tense. Change to I visited my friends. Past tense. I eat noodles for lunch. Present tense. Change to I ate noodles for lunch. Past tense. This is called simple past. As you know, there are two kinds of verb in English: regular verbs and irregular verbs. With regular verbs, we add ed to the word in the past tense. With irregular verbs, we change the word completely in the past tense. Here are some examples of regular verbs used in the past tense. I watched TV last night. He walked home from school. She called her boyfriend. We talked until 2 a.m. They cooked 다람쥐 덮밥. Now, here are some examples of irregular verbs used in the past tense. I flew to Japan last year? He bought candy for his girlfriend. She ate all of the chocolate. We drank soju all night long. They went to a taramji restaurant. So, did you understand that, Mr. Anderson? I didn't think so. Having lived a number of years in this country, I have developed a theory as to why students seem incapable of mastering the basic tenets of the English language. This is because English is not a language. It is a disease. It's an infection which must be purged from the system at all cost. And the only remedy for this contamination is through constant drills, repetition, and practice. We will therefore move on to an in-depth discussion of the structure of the past simple. Past tense questions can begin with either a verb or an interrogative. For example, were you at home last night? Did you eat breakfast this morning? What did you do on the weekend? Where were you last Friday? If the question begins with be, the answer is usually yes or no. For example, were you at home last night? Yes, I was. Was she at home last night? No, she wasn't. If the question begins with do, the answer is also usually yes or no. Did you eat breakfast this morning? Yes, I did. Did she eat breakfast this morning? No, she didn't. Therefore, if the question begins with a verb, we usually give a short answer. However, If the question begins with an interrogative, a longer answer is usually required. For example, where did you go for your vacation? I went to Japan. Who did you go with? I went with my sister. The negative structure of simple past is as follows. Subject plus didn't plus verb. For example, I didn't watch TV last night. We didn't eat sujebi last night. She didn't drink soju this morning. Please take note, Mr. Anderson. The following people failed the exam. As previously mentioned, failure is not an option in this course, Mr. Anderson. This is what we do to people who can't speak English, Mr. Anderson. Past tense questions can begin with either a verb or an interrogative. For example, were you at home last night? Did you eat breakfast this morning? What did you do on the weekend? Where were you last Friday? If the question begins with be or do, the answer is usually yes or no. Were you at home last night? Yes, I was. Or, no, I wasn't. Did she stay home last night? Yes, she did. Or, no, she didn't. However, if the question begins with an interrogative, a longer answer is usually required. For example, where did you go for your vacation? I went to Japan. Who did you go with? I went with my sister. The negative structure of simple past is as follows. Subject plus didn't plus verb. For example, I didn't watch TV last night. We didn't eat sujebi last night. She didn't drink soju this morning. Where do you think you're going, Mr. Anderson? The class isn't finished yet. There's still homework to do. So listen very carefully to what I have to say next. Your homework is to study this conversation.
So what did you do on Saturday night?
Oh, I stayed home.
You stayed home? That sounds boring.
Boring? Oh, no, I had a great time.
You had a great time? Why?
Well, I stayed home with a friend.
You stayed home with a friend? Who was it?
Oh, just a good friend.
A good friend? Was it a boy or a girl?
Well,